One of the most common ways that we write conditioning work for our athletes through Zor Fitness is with what we call aerobic intervals. And there's a number of different ways that we could format these. However, I want to give you three of our most common examples. The first would be going through a certain number of sets with a fixed rest period between. So for example, 8 deadlifts, 8 burpee box jump overs, and 8 calories on the rower. So the time that it takes you will be variable. However, the rest is fixed. It's 2 minutes of rest in between each of those intervals. So the goal for that type of work will be to repeat or improve upon each of your times as your effort climbs across. And that's going to be true for all of these, is your effort is going to climb as your times or scores improve. Our second example is doing sets on a fixed clock. So in other words, you're doing every X minutes, you're doing a new set. In this case, it's every 4 minutes or 8 sets. You're doing those 8 deadlifts, 8 burpee box jump over, and 8 calories on the rower. So the amount of total work that you're doing is same, and realistically, the time domain could be similar. Now, however, instead of the rest being fixed, where it was 2 minutes every single time before, now the rest will be variable, where if it takes you longer, you're going to have less rest, and if you get through it quicker, you're going to have more rest because it's on a set clock. And the third way that we most commonly write these type of aerobic intervals is with the same idea, however, it's a variable amount of work. So for these, we often try to aim right around that 1-to-1 work rest. That's not always the case. We don't always hold to that, but that's often the case. Whereas if you're doing every 3 minutes, the goal would be to then work for about 90 seconds. So here's an example of what we could do. Every 4 minutes for 8 sets, you're doing 8 deadlifts, 8 burpee box jump overs, and then you'll do max calories on the rower until the 2-minute mark. So again, it would be 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off. So in this case, you're going to have a score, and that score is the number of calories that you're getting on the rower for each one of those sets. Again, just like before, the goal would be to repeat or improve upon the number of calories you're getting on the rower for each one of those sets as your effort climbs across the sets. So that's how we most frequently use aerobic intervals.